Binge the full week of The Ray Taylor Show ad-free over at inspireddisorder.com/plus.
This is The Ray Taylor Show.
Welcome to The Ray Taylor Show, where I bring you the reviews on the latest movies and TV shows, as well as classic and foreign films. I'm your host, Ray Taylor, and on this podcast, I'll be talking about all things film and television. Whether you're looking for a new show to binge or want to know if that blockbuster is worth the trip to the theater, or just want to hear my thoughts on a classic or foreign film, I've got you covered. So join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for new episodes, and let's dive into the world of film and television together. On this episode, not only do I have a classic film, but I also have a foreign film. That film being the 1978 classic kung fu comedy Drunken Master, directed by Yuen Woo-ping, either way, written by Long Xiao and Siu-tien, starring Jackie Chan and Siu-tien Yuen. Man, I brutalized all of those except for Jackie Chan's name. But this is the first of the two, but then there's also a bunch of spin-offs, Drunken Master movies. In this movie, Wong Fei-hung is a mischievous yet righteous young man, but after a series of incidents, his frustrated father has him disciplined by a master of drunken martial arts. This is a movie that, after watching all of the police story movies that I will be doing a top 5 for on my show Top 5 this Sunday, ranking those movies, after watching those movies, as well as the new Jackie Chan movie on Netflix, Hidden Strike, I wanted more Jackie Chan. It's been forever since I've watched Jackie Chan movies. Huge fan of his films. First found out about him when Rumble in the Bronx came out in theaters. Watched that, fell in love, and tried to watch as many Jackie Chan movies from that point on, from high school forward. But it has been a while. So I figured, why not go back and watch the two Drunken Master movies. They're highly rated of his massive filmography. Both of these films I used to have on DVD. Thankfully, they are available, as many Jackie Chan films are, on Tubi, which is a free service, has ads that play, but at least it gives you access to some amazing old Jackie Chan movies. So I thought, why not? Let's go back and rewatch Drunken Master. And next week I'll review the follow-up to that. But it's been almost like decades. It's been probably close to 20 years since I've watched these movies. I'm 42 years old, for anybody wanting to do that math. That's how long it's been. Loved these movies. Loved these movies as a teenager. Loved these movies in my 20s. And for whatever reason, just because I watched so many movies, usually movies, not until recently have I started to go back and watch classic films that I've missed, or rewatch movies that I used to love and kind of watch them with a fresh perspective on them, and watch them knowing I'm going to be reviewing them, so watching them with a more critical eye, paying far more attention than I would have growing up, just enjoying the amazing action sequences and fight sequences that Jackie Chan brings to films. This film, being the first of that kind of franchise, was great. You have the old school kind of kung fu movie format to this movie, but with Jackie Chan's fighting and comedy stylings, which is so perfect for Jackie Chan. That is one aspect I love of Jackie Chan, and one reason why I think a lot of movies of his that maybe aren't very good movies, like Rumble in the Bronx, for example, because they are a combination of both comedy and action, you can get away with a lot of things not being that great, like writing and acting and story. And so many of those movies were dubbed, including this one that I watched, that the dubbing tends to lower the quality or increase the cheesiness factor. But I still love Jackie Chan's fight style, and you're getting more of the choreographed dance, like fight scenes, where it's far more of a dance between the two people fighting, but mixed in with that comedy as Jackie Chan does. So none of his big, dangerous stunts that he got into later on in his career, but still great fight scenes, and just a great classic that I was very happy to revisit and looking forward to watching the follow-up. Like I said, early Jackie Chan, before he did the big, dangerous stunts, this is simple kung fu story. Son sent away to become a man, learn discipline through martial arts, yada, yada, yada. Whether it's this movie or The Karate Kid, obviously karate's not kung fu, despite the fact that the Karate Kid remake with Jackie Chan, he learns kung fu. Just mind-blowing. Regardless, learning martial arts, learning discipline through martial arts is a very common structure or outline or template that a lot of kung fu movies have. And this one, no different. It has some great fight scenes in this film. Jackie's character is a bit of a douchebag in a lot of ways, kind of cocky, but also stands up for the little guy in scenes. So he's a complex character. He's not great. He's not perfect, but you know, it's I think probably more human in a lot of ways as opposed to what you might get with a lot of movies with a similar structure. Has fun training montages as you would expect from any kind of fighting movie, whether it's kung fu or a Rocky movie. Fun training montages. Just a simple story, like ultimately is the origin story for Jackie's character Wong Fei-hung, which apparently I did a little research. So this is the origin story for this folk hero character who was, I believe, a real person, but was a popular character in movies, TV shows, and this was also an early kung fu comedy. So a melding of two different genres as well. And this movie doubled the success of the director's previous film that was considered a hit. So not only was the previous film, which I believe was also with Jackie Chan, a hit, but this follow-up film not only doubled the revenue that first movie made, but also was a launching pad to Jackie Chan's fame in Asia. This movie was the start of that. And like I said, Jackie's character, Wong Fei-hung, was a Chinese martial artist, traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, and a revolutionary, a Chinese folk hero, subject of many TV shows and films. The character Beggar So, who in the dubbed version is named So Hai, which I found to be hilarious. He's a old guy who gets drunk in order to give him powers to fight better, or looses him up to fight better, and his name is So Hai. Very funny, but the character name is Beggar So, who is another character in Chinese folklore, sometimes cast as an associate of Fei-hung, or sometimes as his uncle. I believe this one he is a great uncle of his. At least in the dubbed version, that's what he was told to be by his dad. This character, many spin-offs and imitations were inspired by this movie. Even Edgar Wright, the man of the Cornetto trilogy, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, in his film The World's End, there was a drunk fight scene, that was choreographed by Brad Allen, who was part of Jackie Chan's stunt team in the 90s. So even modern day films inspired this movie inspired modern day films, and was helped to be created by people associated with Jackie Chan, who's part of this film. So kind of fun history that this movie is a part of. But I do want to get into spoilers of this very basic film. I want to talk about specific moments that happen. So if you haven't seen this movie, if you don't want to be spoiled, here's your warning. I can't imagine anything that I say would really ruin it, because watching the fight sequences is the thing, and there's no way I could spoil the fight sequence. Let's take a quick break from this episode to talk about attention all Ray Taylor Show fans. We're excited to announce we've just released a line of exclusive merchandise featuring original artwork inspired by the show. Our high quality shirts and biodegradable phone cases are a perfect way to show your support for the show and make a great gift for any fan. Plus, with each purchase, you'll be helping us continue to bring you great content. So don't wait. Head on over to inspireddisorder.com now and check out the full collection. Thanks for listening, and we hope you'll show your support by grabbing some Ray Taylor Show merchandise today. And now, let's get back to the show. But spoiler warning for those that do care. Movie starts off with this bounty hunter / like assassin taking a $500 contract to kill a guy, right? This guy, when he finds him, offers to pay him double whatever the contract is for in order to kill the guy who wrote the contract. And this is where we see the bounty hunter / assassin guy say he's got morals, he's got honor, that he will not go against the contract, which is very similar to another movie that I've been watching recently, doing reviews of, John Wick, as far as this honor, holding true to a contract, all of these different things, getting contract to kill people, which is something that John Wick is being the target of in many of the movies. And of course, the assassin wins, and this is the opening credits, right? Setting up just a fight scene to get you going, introducing this assassin that doesn't show up till way later, but showing that he means business, kind of introducing this character that only comes back later on. Then we finally meet Jackie, or Fei-hung, which in every Jackie Chan movie I can't help but refer to him as Jackie Chan. He's a bit of a class clown. He's in like this martial arts class, academy, training, whatever. His dubbed name is Freddie Wong, right? So what's up, Freddie? His dad is Master Wong, so he kind of gets away with goofing off and not really, he's able to talk down to the teacher, and he's got this freedom to be a class clown, right? Kind of a little douchebaggish, right? He embarrasses the instructor, criticizing his style, then putting him on his ass, everybody laughing at this like kind of weaselly instructor guy who has this mole on his face with this just whole head of hair growing off of this mole. And the teacher challenges Freddie to a fight, and Freddie just makes a fool of him, playing around, keeping his hat away from him in the style Jackie Chan does with random objects in fights. But just a great sequence. Then you see him later hanging with the boys, eating lunch or whatever, talking shit, and they see a cute girl, and they're making bets on who's going to be able to, get with her or whatever. And Jackie bets that he will, and he goes over and tricks her to kissing him on the cheek, and then tricks her into jumping into his arms, right, fulfilling the bets that he made. And then he gets busted by her mom, which he denies, right? Denies it, insulting the looks of who he finds to be her daughter. Like, oh, why would I, which is kind of a Trump thing. Like, why would I even, you're accusing me of doing this? I would never do this. Look, she's not even attractive. Why would I do it? She's not even attractive, which is almost what Trump's excuse was with the sexual assault case he lost recently. But, so another kind of douchebag element to this character. But he gets busted. Then you see the mom fight him, which the mom has this like kicking style, which is beautiful, amazing. She kicks his ass, right? Jackie Chan is better than 99% of the people. She's better than Jackie Chan, right? Which is pretty amazing. Crazy kicks. Later on, you see Freddie defending, you see some good traits of Freddie, defending the honor of this old man trying to sell these jade pieces from this guy who like steals a jade piece, like says he's gonna buy one but then doesn't buy it, and then he breaks the piece, right? And then the guy in their fight tries to use a sword, but he still ends up losing. And while also having his pockets picked, right, and the money, Jackie picks the pocket, Freddy gives the money to the old man. So kind of finally showing some redemptive aspect to this character that Jackie Chan is playing. And then you come to find out the woman, when he gets home, the woman he got his ass kicked by is his aunt who was coming to visit, and the girl that he was tricking into kissing him and jumping into his arms is his cousin. And Jackie sees them, and he's like, oh shit, I'm in trouble, right? Trying to hide his face. She recognizes him, but then kind of starts talking up Freddy's reputation, right? Trying to seem like she's covering from in a lot of ways, right? In front of his dad, like it's like, thank you. She figured out who I am, but she's covering for me, right? But then she starts telling this encounter that she had with this horrible guy, and starts saying all the things that Freddy did. And then, right, they get the dad's honest reaction, not knowing that they're talking about his son, and then they turn it on Freddy. It's like, oh, actually, it was your son. And then, which is kind of cold-blooded, but also brilliant. And his dad about to beat him, right? And then you see the person that Jackie beat up, who stole from the old man a jade piece. He gets brought in, right, covered in casts on a little stretcher, right? So now another, like, all of these things are coming back in his face. Well, only one of which was an honorable thing. But it doesn't matter. This doesn't look good for him, right? When it rains, it pours. Freddy's freaking out. His aunt stops his dad from killing him. Now he wants to kill Freddy. And his dad instead disowns him. And the aunt says that they can punish Freddy. They can let the family of this guy punish him and give him 10 strikes or 10 strokes. Let him have 10 strokes. Do whatever they want to beat up their son, Freddy. Right? And Freddy can't fight back. But he can dodge. He can defend. So, of course, it's a great fight scene where he's dodging and avoiding and blocking, but not fighting back. Until they reach the 10-stroke limit, right? Weren't effective at all. But they still continue to try and fight Jackie. But now, because it's past the agreed-upon thing, now he can fight back, right? So his aunt suggests, right, using snake technique, crane technique together, which are it's beautiful to see these kung fu styles, how they're modeled after animals. That is very beautiful. And Freddy, right, ends up beating up this guy again, the guy that's supposed to be beating up him, just as bad as the guy who's in the cast, right? Aunt stops the dad from killing Freddy and recommends punishment, right? So punishment is 5 hours of the horse stance, right? Squatting, which we see, it's Freddy squatting over a sharp bamboo pole, like a sharpened bamboo pole that is underneath his butthole. And on his like hips and legs and shoulders and top of his head are all these little bowls filled with hot water to make sure that he holds his stance. And on his wrists are like these metal, like a bunch of metal bracelets, like weighing his wrists down as they're out in front of him. Just like brutal. And we see the instructor that Freddy beat up earlier at a campfire warming up a kettle and pouring hot water in the thing to, really enjoying this punishment. And trying to tickle his nose after he puts the hot water in the bowl, trying to make it, burn him and all that stuff. Freddy's friend sneaks in, gives him a little bench to sit on, sneaking that in. And, of course, his dad finds out and says that his new punishment is going to be, you're going to train with your uncle, right? This so high. Right? So now his new punishment until then is he's standing on 2 stools kind of on either end, and his hands tied are behind his back, and he's got a massive jug hanging from his neck, right? Weighing him down. It's just like absolutely torture. He ends up running away. His friend gets him out. They run away and goes into a restaurant, tries to scam a meal from a guy who ends up being the owner. He thought he was just a rich guy. He's like, oh, can I join you? And orders all this food and thinks that he's going to bounce, leaving the bill. So it ends up being another great fight. And in that great fight is when he meets this old drunk guy that's in the restaurant who ends up being his uncle, right? He saves him, fighting this giant gorilla guy. Great fight scene, right? Old man's his uncle. And Freddy tries to fight him. None of his styles work against this old guy. Cut to them training, him trying to escape from the training, right? Trying to drown the old guy in this giant jug that he's like having to put water from one jug to the next while balancing on the rims. Tries to run away, ends up running away to the assassin's place, right? Trying to dry off his clothes. And the assassin fights Freddy now. He gets there and he's like, what are you doing? And he embarrasses Freddy. So it's like Freddy's realizing that in his little town, he is the badass guy. That his aunt could beat his ass. His dad probably can as well. So he's finding out in the real world that he's not the top shit. He's kind of a big fish in a small pond, and now he's kind of getting reality shoved in his face. Let's take a quick break from this episode because I want to promote. Are you looking for a way to take your love of the Ray Taylor Show to the next level? Look no further than Inspired Disorder Plus. As a member, you'll get access to a whole host of amazing perks, including the full week of shows, ad-free in both audio and video versions, a live painting archive, early access to the many faces, members-only discounts and deals, a podcast back catalog with over 600 episodes. But that's not all. As a member, you'll get access to my personal blog as well as my creative writing. You'll also get the chance to ask me anything you want. With all of these benefits and more, Inspired Disorder Plus is a must-have for any fan of The Ray Taylor Show. So don't wait. Go sign up now. Head on over to inspireddisorder.com/plus and start enjoying all of the amazing perks of the membership. And now, let's get back to the show. And not only did he get beat by the assassin, he also got his pants all burnt up. So, insult to injury. And so he goes back to train with the Drunk Master. And very entertaining kind of training that he's doing, right? They go out for some recreation. There's some street gambling going on. That turns into a fight. Freddy versus this bald dude. And he starts getting... You see that the old drunk guy, So High, starts getting the shakes when Freddy is out. Supposed to get him more wine, right? He's got a little bit of addiction to alcohol, this drunken master guy. And Freddy's out spending the money he's supposed to be spending to get the wine, fills the jug with water instead of wine while he's spending the money on so it's Freddy's still not learning discipline, still fucking around, wasting this guy's money. Goes back and you see the guy who got beat up, the bald guy, got somebody, some muscle to go beat up So High and Freddy. And of course, Drunk Master has the shakes. He's not doing good fighting. Freddy shows up, gives him the jug of water. Obviously, that doesn't work, but they're able to get away, right? Able to get away, and you see that clearly the alcohol performance enhancer. There is the secret of his eight drunk gods. And finally, after all the training montages of him doing sit-ups, filling buckets of water with little sake cups, finally learning new styles, these 8 drunk gods styles, right? So he's finally learning some stuff. And you find out that there is a hit put out on a contract put out on Freddy's dad, possibly because of Freddy, right? Just another mess of Freddy. So Freddy goes, he tries out his new skills on the guy with the bow staff, right? The guy that came there and like they barely got away. That was the muscle for the bald guy. And he's like, okay, I got these new things. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go test it out on this guy. And he beats up this guy. And it's a really fun fight. Puts the dude, the guy with the bow staff, gets his face shoved in shit, which has like the stretchiest like gum on the bottom of your shoe when he pulls his face out of this pile of shit, which is disgusting, right? Freddy leaves with 2 giant jugs of wine, right? So proud of himself, was able to use this new training successfully, get back at this guy that came to beat them up, right? And when he gets back, finds out teacher bounce. Like, I've taught you everything you know. Now you just need to practice, and that's it. I've done my job. It's been a year. And Freddy's like, he's got these. It's like, what am I going to do? It's like, what am I doing? And you see Freddy's dad lured by this assassin, right? This thunder leg guy. And you see so it's like the end fight. The assassin set up at the beginning of the movie, and Freddy's dad is the target. And Freddy shows up just before his dad gets got. And Sohai shows up just before Freddy's fight, right? Because he wants to see how it's going, right? There's like this connection. If you ever need me, I'll be there, right? So he's there. And of course, Freddy gets drunk, which is a beautiful style. Not only are all the fight sequences well choreographed and beautiful, very much like dance fighting, but the addition of the drunk style is perfect, and he does it so perfectly, right? The illusion of being sloppy, right, but looking beautiful. It also fits his comedic style in a lot of ways, right? And also in the newest, there's like a reboot of the new Police Story. He plays a cop that's drunk, and Jackie Chan plays drunk very well. So Jackie does well at first against this assassin, but then he starts to lose. And it's because he still didn't practice, right? So he all of this, the whole thing was for him to learn discipline, which he barely kind of learned. And didn't even learn the discipline to at least practice this new style. He learned a new style, but he never practiced, never got real discipline. This is maybe his final lesson of you have to practice this discipline. It's not just you're good and you're done. It's it's a lifelong journey. You're never going to be the best. And it turned out to be one of the 8 drunk styles is a female style that Freddy talked shit about when learning. It's why would I ever use this? And that ends up being the style that turns the momentum of the fight, which I love that aspect, right? Which it's just the style itself is fun, but then having that be the style that turns things around for him is great. And of course he wins in the end. So overall, fun, loved it. A great origin story for the character Fei-hung, right? Learning discipline and humility, kind of. Definitely learned a new style. But even in the final battle, we find out that he was never practicing. Regardless, he grew a bit. He did grow as a person. Defended his father, who was targeted by this assassin, but probably because of Freddy. So in many ways, just cleaning up his own mess. But the style is great. The old Kung Fu movie type of choreography. I love that. The combat dancing. And adding the fluid and stumbling nature of being drunk adds an interesting flavor to that as well, right? Kind of turning disorientation and weakness into a strength, almost playing possum in some ways, which is something that is used in combat sports like the rope-a-dope or even in mixed martial arts, Nate Diaz or the Diaz brothers, Anderson Silva, both have known for playing hurt in fights as a way to kind of lure people in. Not always to great effect. Anderson Silva famously, when he lost his championship belt that he was the undefeated god for holding, record-breaking holding, and played around one too many times and got, but still a style, an element that is used, even though Kung Fu isn't necessarily a martial art used in actual combat sports, but the element of the the rope-a-dope pretending to be hurt type of a thing is great. Loved that, and I'm excited to watch the next one because the follow-up, I believe, came out. This was 78. I think the following one came out in 97, so a few decades later. So I'm excited. I enjoyed this one, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this episode of the Ray Taylor Show. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on Drunken Master. Don't forget to tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for new movie and TV show reviews. And join the conversation by leaving a comment on your favorite podcast platform or over on youtube.com/Inspired Disorder if you are watching this. Until next time, enjoy the show. Subscribe to The Ray Taylor Show on YouTube and everywhere podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at InspiredDisorder.com/plus. Purchase Ray Taylor Show merch over at InspiredDisorder.com. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!
Today is the day where you wake up and you realize that everything that you've been dreaming about, everything that you've been wanting, every goal and wish and hope that you've ever had can become real. Dreams can come true. What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.